again, if I was a man right now in Western society, I would be extremely, extremely afraid.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reacting to a video from a woman actually supporting men going the wrong way. Let's go ahead and get right into this video. Make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So here we go.
I am not surprised that a movement for men going their own way exists now. If I was a man living in society, and again, I need to make this clear, I'm speaking about Western society, because there's too many little that keep on saying, well, what about women in the Eastern, Middle Eastern women? What about them? I can't speak on women that I don't know personally. I don't live there. I don't know what's going on there. I only know what I see on TV, and that's not always accurate. So I'm not speaking on them. You know, they can speak for themselves. I'm speaking for women over here, Western society, where I live, what I'm familiar with. Back to the video now. It's no surprise that men started going their own way. And again, if I was a man right now in Western society, I would be extremely, extremely afraid.
All right, so what are your thoughts on that? I mean, this is pretty refreshing. Ultimately, she's saying that she agrees with why a man would go his own way. You know, some of the obstacles that he's currently facing, especially in modern times. What are your thoughts on that?
It's definitely good to hear, especially coming from women. We do all these videos about how women are always bashing on men, and it's always very negative when it comes to like women speaking on men, right?
Yeah.
So now hearing someone saying, I actually understand the reason why men are doing this and whatnot, it's really good to hear. And I think more women should be more like empathetic towards it. So yeah, I'm happy to hear it.
Yep, fair enough.
Get a woman pregnant. I would be afraid to marry a woman. I would be afraid to commit to a woman in any way, shape, or form. I'd be extremely careful, you know, if I did sleep around, to do it very carefully, not get anybody pregnant on accident.
All right, and that's a good point. Guys in today's day and age, they need to wrap it up. They need to put a condom on. You know what I mean? They can't be trusting that the girl's on birth control, because ultimately a woman can trap you, unfortunately, in that situation. You should always do your due diligence as a guy to make sure you're protecting yourself. What are your thoughts on that?
We hear so many stories, right? So many stories of women taking advantage of men, leaving them and taking all their money, strictly just to take money from them, right? Or just to get a kid so then they can have like some monthly income.
Child support.
AKA, what is it, the Brittany Renner video we did not that long ago?
The worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, I mean, you could just an athlete. They're really dumb.
You have to be careful. There are way too many stories nowadays for you not to be careful. Like, to
you know what
honest.
I mean?
So
just countless examples of what's happening.
Yeah.
And men today should be using other people's examples and learning and ultimately doing better.
I've seen women destroy men's lives with children, with divorce. You know, I've seen women that go out to a bar, go home with a man that they just met, hardly know, sleep with them unprotected, and then the next day feel guilty about it and try to say that man. I've seen all these things, okay?
That's a good point, because you can meet somebody, have a sexual interaction, and then ultimately that person can turn around and say, he did X, Y, and Z to me. And you look at the law, you know, the law is going to, for the most part, be on the woman's side, right? What happened to being innocent to proving guilty, right? And you look at these cancel situations with different celebrities, and just the allegation alone can ultimately ruin a man's life. But what are your thoughts on that?
I was just thinking of the stories that I've heard from even in colleges, right? Not even celebrity people, but like male athletes, right? Having like, let's say, had a night of fun with a girl, and she can lie about the situation, and him losing a scholarship. Now he's not able, now he's like blacklisted from other schools, all of these negative things that you hear from a false allegation, right? And it doesn't matter if it's false, they're still going to think like otherwise of
just
him.
the stigma alone.
Yeah.
Just to be
After
accused.
That, yeah. No,
even if you're proven innocent, just the accusation alone will follow you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is why it's, again, very, very careful who you involve yourself with, right? So if you want to have your fun, right, as a guy, you're young and you want to like explore different girls, whatever, you have to be careful.
And I've seen women be ex-girlfriends and ex-wives make a man's life a living hell, okay? And I know a lot of women can say, well, what about, have you ever seen men do this to women? I have. I've seen men, women, I've seen a lot of things that men have done. However, the numbers are so much greater with what I've seen with women do.
Narrative is always one-sided in regards to a man, doing X, Y, and Z. But there are cases where, women also put their hands on men as well. But those cases are not necessarily talked about or addressed.
A lot of it you hear of on women about what they say of like negative things that they've experienced. You don't hear it so much on the men's side.
Every man out there is got a little halo over his head. That is not true. However, the numbers are just so much higher when I'm speaking about what women are doing. So I have a lot of female acquaintances. I have had a lot of female friends in the past, and I've known them very personally. I've known what goes on in their lives, and even though they put on this facade that they're good women and they do the the right thing, and they don't sleep around, and they don't cheat, and they don't do this, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the women, the majority of the women that I've known as acquaintances and so forth, have cheated, do cheat, and do seek the attention of other males.
All this talk about how men are all cheating, whatever, it's not true.
Cap.
Okay,
Cap.
Yeah.
Stop the cap.
And also to your point as well, I think for men, it's really important. I think this is why it's important to also have strong male
Figures.
friends,
Yeah.
and friends even around you, so you guys can discuss and talk about like the things that are bothering you or troubles that you're having in your life. So you're able to discuss that with men who are maybe going through similar situations.
Yeah,
and stuff.
fair enough.
And that's just being honest.
With men going their own way, I 100% support men, focusing on yourself, really doing some self-improvement, like if it is like financially and mentally, self-development, whatever, right?
Yeah.
100% I agree with that. Do that. And just focus on yourself, put your head down, do what you got to do. In regards to marriage, I personally, because I've seen so many good examples of marriage within my community and my family, like just, what is it? So my grandparents are going on 70 years of marriage, right? They're about to have their 70th anniversary. So for me, that's just one example of why I've seen good examples of marriage and why it's so important to vet out the person you are going to marry, okay? Recognize the red signs, especially when you are dating. So if you are a man who has experienced like bad women, you see all these stories, right? Of course, you're going to get scared.
If I was a guy, I wasn't interested in having kids, and I wanted to get married, I would get married in a church, but I wouldn't include the law in the marriage. So you would get married before God,
Okay.
but you wouldn't sign a physical contract.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's the only way I would get married if I wasn't planning on having kids.
Okay, well, sure.
Because technically marriage is before God. It's not before Uncle Sam, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, right? So that's what marriage was initially. And through, civilization and taxes and things of that nature, I mean, it's more like a contract at this point in time. And I think that's what men are ultimately scared of, is that contract, that pen to paper, versus just two people coming together and just living their best lives. But anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this video. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.
Bye, guys.